I saddle them from this side. For me, for practical reasons, for one, you know, I'm already over here, so it saves me a trip around the horse. But the other thing is I want to be able to spend at least equal amount of time on each side. And otherwise they get just one-sided. This is one of the best tools I have. It's about a 40-foot rope, and I use it probably more than anything. Just watching how she's treating that bit, and signs there showing that she either hasn't had a bit in her mouth much, or that's probably what it is, or they've just, like you said, ridden her with a hackmore or a halter. And
you explain the philosophy that you use?
Well, I tie these reins up to the saddle as to work similar to an overcheck, so that when I do take hold of her mouth, she doesn't want to go too low. And then I put this rope through the bit, and then I come back and tie it to the saddle. And this gives me an opportunity to help sort of soften her nose as I'm going along. Looks like maybe just had her teeth done not too long ago.
July 8th.
Okay. Sometimes when they've had dental work, it takes them a little while to, you know, to get real comfortable in their mouth again. I can't imagine why I had my mouth pried open and some power tools in there. I'd be a little uncomfortable myself. I'm going to leave the cavesson off this time, since it's the first time I've worked her. And but I think a cavesson probably would be helpful on her next time, because she's wanting to just gap her mouth and there's no pressure in her mouth. And so she's probably, what experience she's had with a bit, maybe she's learned how to open her mouth to avoid what's going on in it. She's wanting to look off to the outside just a little bit, so I'm keeping just a little tension on the left line, just letting her run against her own pressure, kind of exposing her to some forward motion. She's feeling that line on the outside. She's feeling me send pressure to the inside, and right now she's avoiding me by just opening her mouth and trying to spit that bit out. She's wallering around there, got her tongue over the bit now, and just wallering around up there. So I'm going to just stay steady until she starts wanting to find a different way out of that. A different way out of that would be to tuck her nose, like there, soften up, and we can help her get her tongue back underneath that bit. She's not really paying any attention to me here right now, because she's already been stopped. I lengthened that head stall out, but the fact that she keeps wanting to get her tongue over it, I'm going to shorten it up here right now and see if I can help her find an easier way to carry that bit. That's better. Now she's at least tucking her nose and she's not pushing on my hands. So she found relief by tucking her nose instead of just gapping her mouth. She's still got her mouth open, still pushing on that bit, but that'll end here after a while. I'm gonna go to the right. As soon as she makes an effort, there. Now she's softened up again. A little bit of effort behind things here. I'm going to move that bit just a little bit there with my right hand. At the same time, I've got this flag offering a little bit of forward motion. Just trying to give her a place to soften up. Quit pushing. There we go. When she tucked her nose right there, she got about 3 or 4 strides in complete release. Right there, she offered tucking her nose. I'm going to go left. Better. What was better is when I did apply just a little bit of pressure, instead of rooting into my hand, she softened her nose, softened her face. Now right here, she's coming in shoulder first. See how we get along here. Soften up. See, that outside line is about the same as my right leg would be if I was on her, and I'm applying my inside leg here with the flag. I'd rather her be looking to the left as she's going along here, and she wants to look out to the right, but she did that just on the line too, so we don't have a see if we can get some willing steps backwards. Get her to soften up in the front there. She's hollowed out in her back and got her nose stuck up. I'm waiting for her to tuck her nose while she's giving me her feet backwards. As soon as she gets her head out of the air, there we go. That's better. I'm going to keep bringing those feet. Keep bringing those feet. Okay, let's go forward. Getting them to come backwards usually helps forward motion. When she does tuck her nose right now, for me, she's wanting to lower her head just a little more than I'd like, but I like that she's tucking her nose. Just holding a little bit of pressure there, wanting her to listen to me instead of just kind of wallering and taking me where she wants to go. Right there, I didn't ask her to move to the right. She just took off to the right there. I want her to go right between those poles. She took off to the left. Now she's headed right. When she sees that gap between those poles, she'll feel it at the same time. Wrong move. Went through there, but I don't like the attitude that she went through there with, so we're going to come back through again. See, when we weren't real specific and we were just kind of walking around, she looked happier than she did when I got real specific. So now that we've gotten things nailed down here to a little bit more listen to me, she said, I don't think I have to listen to you. I'll just throw my head around here and waller around. I know you'll quit because that's what's always worked for me in the past. But she's going to get surprised here because what'll work for her this time is doing the right thing. And the right thing is to soften up and listen to me, just like it worked out for her leg. Dip there. Now, what I really like here, even though she's not doing what I want yet, she's at least getting in a body position where she's going to be able to do what I want better. She just grabbed my hands and kind of running off with it. But the position I'm talking about, see how she's kind of put herself together. She doesn't look near as long now, and she's picked those withers up and got her head higher now. But when she softened up right there, you see she got to thinking. When she starts thinking and carrying that good posture, see, right now she's defensive, but forward motion will take the defensiveness out. She'll soften up. There we go. See her tuck her nose. To take that step, she had to tuck her nose. There, she did it again. Now, each step she's taking right now is a step in freedom. Each correct step she's taken is a step in freedom. Each step that she took to the right and to the left, which wasn't correct, was a step into consistent pressure. Very nice. What was nice there is that when I asked her to go forward, she didn't argue, she didn't resist, she didn't sprout her nose out and take hold of my hand. She just softened up and went forward with a good attitude. Very good attitude right there. Let's stop right there. Now maybe we can back through these poles. Each step's a step in freedom. Very nice. I'm going to sit here a minute and let her marbles kind of fall in place. Because she's not thinking about standing still right now. She's thinking about moving and thinking about leaving. And so I want her to know that as soon as she feels all the pressure leave from me, she can relax and things will go real good. I want her to look for these opportunities to relax and sit there and just kind of hang out and wait on me, just like now. I don't particularly care for what I felt when I stepped up on her. She just got tight, stuck her head up in there. She's defensive, so I'm going to sit here a minute and let her come down. She's coming down right now. And let's see what happens when we go off to the right here just a little bit. Just adding just a little bit of both legs. I don't have any pressure in her mouth right now. I'm wanting her to find out that I'm not going to hurt her. She's probably as defensive with a person on her back as she was with, getting her feet picked up. Now she just took a deep breath and everything feels pretty good here now. So, forward motion for me now is not necessarily coming from my legs, but it's coming from upper body getting over my hips, and my seat bones I've got one on each side of her body, and I don't have any resistance in her face. So as I sit up there and just kind of move my body around, I'm over exaggerating my hands so you can just amplify what I'm doing with my body. I'm just alive there. So you reach a little bit more right there, and I just quit doing what I was doing, waited on her. I'm going to turn back to the left here. When I turn back to the left, I just pull back towards her left hip. I turn my upper body to the left, like I'm turning right here. See my right shoulder behind my left one. Both brow reins are coming to her right hip. She's not there. Very good. And she's looking out. She's feeling my left leg. She's feeling a little bit of resistance from my hand to her mouth to the left. She's feeling my left leg and my right leg as well. Right there, she came in too much with her shoulder, so my left leg stayed on until she picked that shoulder up and stood right there. I'm thinking about body alignment as I go around here. Left leg, very nice. Now she's in complete freedom from my legs and my hands. Now she's feeling my hands back to the left. I look to the left. My left shoulder is behind my right one. I'm setting her straight up, looking left. This outside rein is helping me keep forward motion going. It's just there. Just want her to get in a rhythm and stay in that rhythm. Let her walk here. If a horse can find a rhythm and get comfortable in that rhythm, then they'll get quiet. I think she's going to be a pretty nice horse. She needs some time to develop some trust in people. I think that's all you're lacking. She's I don't feel anything yet. I haven't asked much of her either, and I don't feel anything that would alarm me about her yet. When we put her under some pressure, a little bit on the drive lines, we probably saw a side of her that's there, and I'll take hold of her mouth here a little bit, ask her to come up in that bridle. Now when I took hold of her, see, she didn't lift her head, she pushed on my hands. So I'm ask her to get forward here and lift that head up. Pick your head up, don't come down. Pick your head up. I'm saying pick your head up for your guys' sake. I'm not saying that for her sake. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wanting her head to come up there while I've got a hold of her face. I don't want her to stop her feet just because she's feeling me touch her mouth. I'm wanting her to change how she's carrying herself. I'll go ahead and stop here. My legs come off. Let her just come down to a stop. Remember I said when we had her on the drive line and she got her head up like this? That's what I would like for her to do, is just raise up. Then she can soften up about right here and have a real nice rounded approach and not be standing on her head just looking at the ground whenever you take hold of her face. Right now, she when I take hold of her mouth, she just wants to look right there, And that's why you're feeling the lack of wanting to go forward in her. I ask her to back up here a little bit. Now the reason I really eased up on her there, when I asked for her to come back, she was coming backwards mentally, but her feet were stuck. And she was just backing up. And sometimes they'll go completely down right there. So I let up on her just a little bit. Now I ask her again. There, she got her feet moving. She's pulling on my hands more than I'd like for her to. She's got her nose just real defensive out there, so I don't have anything to release to up there. I released her when she raised her head, when her feet were coming freely. I'm going to just stay there with her until I can, until she softens up. There. Now see that shoulder stuck out to the right, and she's kind of hauled out. So I'm gonna just pull towards the left and use my right foot. And see if I can get that shoulder to come back to the left. Yeah. Came back to the left, but it came back right there with her thinking about moving forward. I want it to come back with her thinking about moving backwards. There. There. Whenever I say there, that means the horse has stepped into what I'm wanting him to do. I want that rib cage and that shoulder to pick up and go do that. See, it just changed sides on me, which is what I wanted her to do because she was locked out there to the right. Now she's locked off to the left. Well, her role, her responsibility for me is to get straight in her body and carry herself backwards straight. When she does that, she's not going to feel any pressure in her mouth. If she's bent and pushing on my hands, there's nothing to release to. Still got her nose stuck up in the air. Notice that I'm lifting on those bridle reins a little bit too. I'm not pulling straight back. I'm lifting on them. And the reason that I lift on them is to give me a leverage advantage. See her tuck her nose to get away from it. I have a leverage advantage there. Weight on her here. So if I pull too hard right now, she's not telling what she might do. So I've got a weight on her. I'm using my feet to help get her feet moving. All she got to do here is move a foot, and then I'm going to pull to the left and use my left foot. I'm going to pull to the right and use my right foot. Pull. There we go. Very good. Very good. Move that hip, get them back feet moving here. Move this hip, get those back feet moving. And then we'll ask for that back up again so that she's, there we go. I naturally don't want her resisting like she's resisting, but I couldn't stop there. And that's the reason that I keep backing them, because there'll always be that spot come of resistance, and it gives me an opportunity to show her that when she feels pressure from me, she can get that pressure to leave by moving her feet. It's not going to leave if she's wallering her head like that, but if she's moving her feet, there's no pressure on her whatsoever. She's in complete freedom. What I'd like for her to do is tuck her nose while I'm going backwards here too, rather than being hollowed out. I like that she brought her shoulder back there when I asked for it. I want her to soften up and give me that face. I'll just lift on those brow reins a little bit. I'm going to stop right here and let her have a minute. We'll go forward here. Get stopped here. You think about backing. Still defensive in her neck and her jaw. That'll all leave. I'd rather have her defensive there a little bit and her head up like it is than have her head down there between her legs, not listening. I want her to move her front end to the left, and she's just moving her hip to the right. There. So I'll let her walk on through there. Just move around up here on her a little bit. I'm going to go between those poles and get off of her and call that a good ride. That's the best reward you can give a horse right there, is when they start acting halfway decent, just get off of them, loosen the saddle up, and let them know that that's the reason that they got that relief.